Alright, don't mind the retard light going on off back there in the background. That thing's been dying and haven't had a chance to replace it yet. So figured I'd put this video up real quick because I said yesterday we were going to be shelling corn this afternoon. We're obviously not shelling corn. Had a little bit of a mishap. Went over there this afternoon to get the combine to bring it over here to finish doing the last minute things we had to do, the tracks and whatnot, to get it ready to actually go to the field. And took the white over there, had the cart over there. We were ready to rock and roll. Got the combine warming up, went to get in it. Took off, didn't move 10 feet. And it went wham, 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 wham. So I yanked back on the hydro and stopped. It's like, what the hell is that? I was like, surely the tracks aren't frozen because there's nothing on them. And it never got cold enough to freeze that hard. And then I went to move again, and all I had was dead hydro. You could hear it wind up and try to do something, and it wouldn't move, wouldn't go forward, wouldn't go back. It's like, that's not good. So I jump out, and the sprockets were sitting down on the track frames, and the subframe had broke, and it did this. So luckily, it did it right there in front of the shop. We still had to jack it up and weld it back together to get it back in the shop, but we had semi-solid ground to work on, and it's not like we were out in the back of some field wading through 3 feet of mud or something. I mean, if it had to happen, it's a good thing it happened there. So we got it jacked back up, straightened back out, welded back together, got the head off, got it back in the shop, and looked over it for probably a better part of 2 hours, trying to figure out where we could cram more iron and brace it and do this and do that and try to make it get through what we got to get through. And there was just no, after seeing what we saw it do right there in front of the shop, there was no scenario we came up with would give us enough confidence that it wouldn't turn around and break again, especially since at that point it was an empty combine with the head on it and didn't have 150 bushel of corn in the hopper. So, and sure as shit, if it's gonna break again, it's gonna do it down on the muck way out in the back of the field, or I got one field where we got to work some pretty gnarly side hills, and if it breaks on a side hill, I don't even want to think about what would happen if that subframe let loose on a side hill. That'd probably be the end of that combine for the second time. So like I say, no scenario we came up with, no matter where we crammed more iron with the way the subframe is currently set up, were we confident to just band-aid it back together and try to run it. So basically, we're going back to square one, and tomorrow we're going to go out there. Tracks are coming off, subframes coming back off, final drives are coming off because we need to get the axle spacers off, because that's where the base is going to start for a brand new subframe. We were going to wait until next summer when we didn't need combine, but at this point it's going to be a whole lot easier. We probably should have just started from zero last week, and we'd have been ahead for it, but at that time we were in the mindset, it ran before, there's no reason why it shouldn't run again to get over what we got to do, and then we'll just attack it and make it right later. Well, we should have just done that last week and it would have been, but life is full of should have done it that ways. But so we're going to go, and instead of waiting, we're just going to build an entirely new, rigid, well-built, well-engineered, easy to take on and off subframe right now. Get it done, get it out of the way. That way, once it's on and we're rolling, there is no doubt that we're solid, we're not going to break, because the other fear is if it breaks, that's going to drop, the sprockets lock up on the subframe, you're going to start breaking final drives. There's all sorts of things that can break if that breaks again, especially with a fully loaded hopper. So it's safer to wait another week, because Dad's pretty sure shouldn't have any trouble coming up with material. We're pretty sure we should be able to have the subframe, because most of the subframe, yeah, other than what the blocks that we're going to have to weld into the axle spacers, there is nothing that can't be built here in the shop, taken back over there, put on, tacked together, and then completely assembled off the combine, and then just take it over there, put it on, and we're done. So that's where we're at. Dad's actually up in the house looking up material right now so we can get it ordered on Monday. Some stuff, he thinks one of the shops that he does some work for has some stuff laying around in their scrap pile that we need. So the goal is to have the axle spacers and final drives and everything back reassembled by Tuesday. That way, if for some reason my buddy needs his shop back, all we got to do is take the front tires over there, slap them back on, and drive it back out. We had him-hawed about the idea of throwing the tires back on it for now and trying to go run what I can run, because I have 3 fields that I am mildly confident that I can get over most of them, but I have 0 confidence I'm going to get over the muck. And I have 0 confidence that I'm going to be able to get over the majority of I can get over some of my uncles, but I'm not going to get over all of it. No way. And the only nice day we have is tomorrow, Saturday. Sunday, they're calling for up to 1 inch of snow. I think we got some more snow in the forecast for next week, and then after that it turns back to rain. Things are not looking good as far as the ground conditions getting any better. And the fields that I can probably go run right now are going to be like that last bean field I ran, where you're going to be able to get over the high spots, and then you get down in the low ground, you're going to rut the shit out of it again. Which at this point, I'm in the mindset, yeah, I need to get the corn off. That's the priority right now. But I'm trying to look forward to next spring, thinking about how much of a nightmare it's going to be on top of how bad it's already going to be, because there's going to be 0 fall tillage done this year, unless we get really lucky and we can get some stuff done in December, but that's figured on getting really lucky. And I'm thinking about how much worse it's going to be if I go out and rut up all the corn ground that I have left, trying to mud everything out, and then there's still going to be spots I'm not going to be able to get to. Because if you go out there and rut all that up, yeah, you got the corn off, but now next spring you've got, knee-deep ruts that are standing full of water. You got to try to work them shut. You got to spread fertilizer over top of them. You got the compaction that you just made that's going to last for years, because just because you go out and chisel plow a tire rut shut does not mean that you erased it completely. You'll be dealing with the effects of that compaction for years and years, because that's just how compaction works. So it sucks, but in the end, it's going to be better off for it to just start from square one like we should have done, make the complete new subframe for it, put it on there, and be confident that we're not going to go out and break something. So it's going to kind of make the rest of this fall kind of suck, because it pushes us back another week. But I mean, we've waited this long, and frankly, it's just going to make the corn a little bit drier. So I guess in the end, it's going to save me a little money there. And December grain markets are looking a little better than November grain markets, so might make a little bit more money there. I don't know. If you got to look at the silver lining in things, it's like waiting to cut beans. Yeah, I guess it kind of sucked I had to cut beans in November, but it also made me about 50 cents a bushel, because beans were up over 13 when I sold those last 3 loads. So that worked out. But yeah, so that's basically where we're at. Tomorrow, Dad and I are going to go over and get it all tore back apart, and he can come up with his drawings, and he wants to get some parts burned out with a laser. And hopefully by the end of the week, as long as everything goes okay, the subframe will be all welded up, and we can go over there next weekend, put it all on, and we'll be good to go. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. So at this point, I'm just trying to make next spring easier, because the less ruts I make now, the easier it's going to make life next spring, because next spring is going to suck. So anyhow, that's where we're at. I just wanted to put this up real quick because I said we were going to be shelling corn and we didn't. So that way everybody knows what's going on and why. And it'll all make more sense when I'm actually standing next to the combine, but I didn't want to drive all the way back out there just to make a quick video because they were closing the shop up and everything and getting ready to shut down for the day anyhow. So I think that's all I got to bring you up to speed. In the meantime, I got some honeydew projects, like I got some more soil sampling I can do now that I got some more beans off. I got more rent checks I got to get out. I really need to get my Helena Finance loan paid off because that's going to be coming here in the end of, I think January 1st is my maturity date on that, so I need to get that taken care of. So anyhow, that's a quick update. It's probably a little longer than I expected, but just to let everybody know where we're at. So that being said, that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember, if it was easy, everybody'd do it.